Hey guys, AFC here again, Action Figure Captures. Just wanted to do a quick video. I'm going to try and start doing a little mini series of videos based on my favorite figures and some of the favorite edits I did of those figures. And in this case here, we're going to start off this series with a series of figures from a line called Garo, which was a Japanese tokusatsu series that featured kind of like an armored hero. And this was more an adult-themed version of the series, and basically featured a character called Garo Golden Wolf. And basically, it's kind of like a Super Sentai or Power Rangers style series, Kamen Rider sort of thing, but more adult themed. So like more like kind of adult situations that appeared in this one. So and fairly violent, graphic series, but a great series though. And in this case, they released like a really nice set of figures for this figure, and they're from a series that was called Garo Equip and Prop. And what that featured was basically figures that actually came with a prop from the series that the actual actors would wear, and it basically came with a version of that prop. And for this first photograph, what we have is we have the main character, which is Garo himself, and his human form. And basically, you have the way the figure ships is it basically comes with the main figure, and then you actually have interchangeable parts that actually would come off and allow you to swap them to make the armored form. So in this case here, what we have is we have the head that would come off, the arms, the jacket, the legs, and then you would swap them for the armored head, the armored arms, again, the armored legs, and the actual armored chest plate. And then you have the second form. The really nice thing with the set is they also shipped with a prop from the show, like I was mentioning, and this is actually a ring that the character wears while doing his transformation, and it actually acts more like as a mentor. So the ring actually does kind of guide him and let him know what he's looking for in the monsters he has to fight. And it comes with its own stand and everything, and you can actually wear this ring, and it was actually die-cast metal. It was really nicely done. And you can see the high amounts of detail, the actual washes and the paint apps on these figures. And these figures are, God, from the early 2000s. So they're actually quite old. But the amount of detail on these figures for that time period and the actual posability of the figures was like absolutely incredible. And you can still find these today on eBay. They're a little pricier now than what they were when I first bought them, but they're well worth having, and they're beautiful figures. So moving on to the next photo here, we have just a close-up of the figure, and I've added some glows to the eyes and glows to the logo. But you can see the really fine details and paint apps on these figures, and the job they did actually, giving you those actual details. Really nicely done, and just beautifully sculpted. And there's the ring actually that would actually appear on the human form. It actually ends up on the back of his hand when he's in the armored form. This is a compilation of the figure, and basically you can see the actual mouth does open. I've added the green eye glow and the glows on the chest here. Those actually aren't on the figure. This is actually a really nice miniature version of the figure, and this is actually the kind of the scale that it would be compared to the actual 6.5, 7-inch figures. And this one was like insanely highly detailed as well. It was a mini version from this series, and they're just called an ultra series because they were actually so ultra detailed for the size. And then what you see in this photo as well is the ring basically later in the series takes some damage as it begins to progress his powers, and he tries to use his powers to go beyond his abilities, and he goes into this gigantic monster form afterwards, and the ring begins to fail because it basically can't take all that power, and that's what this ring represents. And it comes with the same stand as well as the original figure. This is another take on the figure. The figure here that's included, the way the series worked is basically the powers are passed on to the next generation of Guardian, and basically this was actually the main character's father, who had passed the powers on to him when he was defeated, and so his armor was actually a lighter tone, and he had red eyes as opposed to green. And this is actually the horse that actually ships with him, and the horse is just incredibly detailed. It's extremely posable. The giant sword there is actually his weapon when he actually has his regular sword, and it goes into like this ultra powered mode, and you get this giant glaive, which is pretty amazing. And the horse is just so incredibly detailed. Some die-cast metal parts on it, and just really beautiful set of figures by Bandai Japan, and they did such an incredible job with these figures. There's another shot of the same figure and basically just a different pose with the different glows that I've added to kind of highlight the photo a bit. And you can see the difference in the armor here. It's subtle, but it's a lighter shade of gold and kind of like a faded, worn look, with again more of like a kind of mold or like a rust to it to age the armor. And just the horse again with its mouth open, and just the detail and the poses you can put it in are pretty amazing. And then next we have his winged form. So basically later on in the series again, he gets another set of powers and he actually can become winged, or winged, sorry, and he actually flies and does his attack. And those same wings can actually mount into the horse, and then it becomes like a Pegasus as well. And the wingspan on this thing is probably about a good 10 or 12 inches across. So it's a really nice large wing set, and they just mounted the figure in his back. Yeah, really, really well done. And then the final figure in this set was actually shipped with that winged form figure. And this is just actually more of a statue or like a fixed pose figure. And this was actually the woman that he actually ends up guarding throughout the series and protecting her to kind of make sure she's safe. And she actually ends up kind of going evil for a bit. And this is what happens when she's actually like possessed by the villain of the series. And she begins to get these powers as well. And this is the ring that she's actually wearing, because the bad guy actually like kind of traps her by I believe marrying her, if I can remember correctly. It's been a while since I've seen the series, forgive me, but he does give her the ring, and then she becomes possessed and becomes like this villain for a while until she's freed. And again, the details on the figure are just amazing. The clear plastics that were used to create the outfit and everything, and the stand, the level of detail and the paint and the wash and everything, it's just really, really amazing. So yeah, and that's it, guys. I just wanted to share these photos with you, and just so you can see how nice some of these figures coming out of Japan are. And like I said, these are, God, I believe about 10 or 15 years old, and they're just really, really nice and really well done. That's it for the video. Sorry if this is a bit of an odd one, but I just wanted to share some of my favorites with you guys as well, and to let you see some of the figures that I have in my collection. And hopefully you enjoy the video, and if you do, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.